In this session, we will look at Bevel and Bevel Plus along with how to import a file from Adobe Illustrator into Maya. Three of them are similar, almost they are similar. We will see first Bevel. So when I go to Bevel, I need a curve to have a bevel. So the difference between the Bevel and Bevel Plus is I will duplicate this curve. I'll just go to Surface Bevel, edit, reset settings, apply. Then I'll select this curve. I'll go to Bevel Plus, edit, reset settings, apply. So same curve, both the tools are giving different results. The main difference will be here in the bevel, the curve is going to get beveled as a stroke or similar to a stroke, but here the full surface is getting beveled under Bevel Plus. So first we will see bevel over here. I'll get the outliner, Windows outliner. First we will go to the bevel tool. I have this curve over here. I will have some duplicates. So the first curve I will select. I will go to bevel, reset setting. So first is attach surfaces. I will click attach surfaces and go with bevel both the bevels. Both the bevels means it is asking whether I want when I press apply. So now we know it is reversed because of the curve direction. See, we are getting bevel at the top as well as at the bottom, and these three surfaces are attached together. Now I will come here, uncheck the attach surface. I will give off for the bevel. When I apply, I get the bevel over here. Sorry, I get the extrusion over here without the bevel, but here the attached surface is not going to do a difference because the moment I go to bevel off, you can see the attached surface is disabled. When I go to top, both top and bottom, only the attached surface is enabled, meaning there is going to be only one surface over here under the bevel off, so there is no need to attach. I'll come here, select this curve, I'll go to both, I'll uncheck the attached surface, apply, I'll go to reverse. Now we can see the top bevel is a different surface, the bottom bevel is a different surface, and the middle part is a different surface. So when we uncheck attach, all the surfaces are going to be separate. So I will click the attach surface. We know what is the meaning of top side and bottom side. If you want the top bevel only, you will get the top, and here bottom only. Then we have bevel width and bevel depth. When I come here, we have three bevel surfaces over here. When I click on this, I get bevel 1, then rebuild surface and reverse surface. So here we are not having three bevel surfaces. So I'll come here, we will see this bevel width, bevel depth and extrude height over here. This is the bevel width. When I increase, you can see how the width is changing. When I go to bevel depth, I'm pressing Ctrl and dragging. Otherwise, if I drag normally, you will see a huge difference happening over here. So after this, when I increase the bevel width, you can see the difference. So extrude depth, we can have an extrude depth. Again, we can have a normal depth over here. The difference between depth and extrude depth is this: the whole object is going to get elongated when I control this depth. Only this extruded part will get affected when I press this extrude depth. So that is going to be the difference between depth and extrude depth. So these are these three things over here. So here, instead of doing over here, I'm just controlling through the channel box. Then we have corner type, bevel corners. So I'll just reduce it to something like 2 and this one around 1. So this is what we are having right now. So when here we have bevel corners, here we have the corner type, circular, row, linear. Over here we can go with the circular row linear bevel. I will select a curve over here. I'll go with straight, edit, reset settings, go with the straight bevel, apply. When I reverse the direction, you can see over here the corners are sharp. So I'll go with the same one with the circular arc, reverse it. You can see the difference over here. This is having a smooth surface, this is having a hard surface, something similar to this, hard and soft. So that is what we will get with this bevel corners, straight and circular arcs. Then bevel cap edge, convex, concave and straight. When I come here, I can go to bevel 5, straight, curve out. Here we can see the bevel changing, depth I will give 0.5 and extrude depth something like 2 and with 0.5. So here this is a circular bevel what we are having over here. So the same value, if I give it bevel 0.5, 0.5 and 2. Here we have bevel 0.5, 0.52 with circular and curve out. Here we have 0.5, 0.52 and linear and straight out. So we will go with curve out for this. We can see the difference. This is curve out, this is straight out, and this is curve in. So we can see the difference between the bevels happening over here. So we can have different types of bevel depending on our need. So this is what these bevel corners and bevel cap edge means. Then use tolerance. This tolerance is used for these attached surfaces. So what is the level of tolerance we need? The tolerance is 0.05. Otherwise global, we can find the global tolerance over here under the settings, tolerance, positional and tangential. Then we know this curve range, complete, partial and output geometry. If you don't know this, please go to the previous video where we see these two options in detail, right? Then now we can see we created these things using the control vertex, these curves, so they are still attached. This one, because the surfaces are not attached, it is separate, so I'm just going to delete this. So for now we don't want this. Again, from this curve I'm going to create one more bevel plus. So under the bevel plus, I'll go to edit, reset settings. When I go to the reset settings, we have only few options. Don't get confused because of this. They are very simple. They're just fancy. Then we have two sub menus. The first is bevel, then output option, whether you want it to convert into polygons or you want just NURBS. When you press NURBS, you can see there is nothing happening over here. And here we have the same settings. So the output geometry, if we want polygon, then we have the tessellation method, whether we want the count. We saw already like what is this count means, and the sampling sections, how many sampling you want. So we have an option over here. While creating bevel plus, we can either create it as NURBS or convert it as polygons. When we are creating it NURBS, we will get triangles. So when I go here, apply, you can see we have a lot of triangles and we have so many bevel surface faces. So ultimately, if we are going to convert it to polygon, better create it as a output geometry polygon. We will leave it as it is, long curve span and along extrusion section. We will leave all these things as it is. We will go to this bevel option. Under the bevel option, create bevel at start or at the end. We will go with the reset setting. Just apply a bevel, we get a beveled surface which is a polygon. Under the outline, we can see the difference in the icon, where surface we see a blue color icon, and for polygon we see 4 boxes. So this is a polygonal geometry now. So how we created this? Again, we'll go here, outer style curve. This is what it is telling. Then we have bevel plus. So under the bevel plus, we have bevel inside with depth and extrude depth, which is something similar to what we saw in bevel. Then we have polyplanar project. So this we will leave it for now. First we will see the difference between create bevel at start and at end. So it is similar to that, the both the sides. I will uncheck both the things and apply. You can see something like here we have a straight extrusion without any bevel. So this is what the meaning of at start and at end. If you want only at the bottom, you can just click at end and apply. So here we can see only at the end we have a bevel, not at the bottom. So we can control it according to our wish. This bevel width, bevel depth and extrude distance, we can control it over here. Then we have create cap at start and at end, whether we want this to be capped. If I don't want this to be capped, I'll put bevel over here, apply. We can see we get something similar to our bevel output, but in a polygonal object. So here we will give create cap at both the sides. Then we have bevel inside curves. So bevel inside curves means these curves too are going to get beveled. So these things we will see over here. I come here, First we have style. So before getting the style, we will try to increase the size. I'm having a extrusion like this. After getting this extrusion, I'll just take the channel box out like this and press Control Spacebar. So I'll have these things with me. So you will have some space to see. You'll have some more space to see what is happening. So then I'll go to the outer style. You can go with bevel inside on or off. I'll go to the style. Then we have straight out, that is the default. Then we have straight in. We have convex out, convex in, concave in. So we have many options over here. You just can go through them. So here this is what it means. Inner bevel style same as outer style. So if you want a different bevel for inner as well as outside, just you have to check it, uncheck it. So when you uncheck it, you will have different options for outer bevel and inner bevel style. So we don't want that to happen. Just we will go with same as outer style. Here I'll just uncheck the caps. I will go with straight edge, side edge. You can see we get a bevel which is without the caps but with the bevel, outer bevel style straight side edge. So this we can control over here or in the channel box. We just have to click it. We can come here and control the style. So this Bevel Plus is something like an advanced version of bevel, but here you can do more things than using bevel. Then if we go with at start, at end, we'll go with the same thing. If we go with NURBS, then we have this attached surfaces enabled. If we go with polygons, so this, and at the bottom use tolerance is not going to work because here we are not going to have different faces in a polygon because it's going to be a single object. So this attached surfaces is not valid. So only if we go with NURBS, we need this attached surfaces and use tolerance and tolerance value to be enabled, right? So then when we go with polygon, we have two options: tessellation method, count, and sampling. I'll just take this curve again. You can see still they are attached. One is a polygon and another one is a NURB surface, but both are getting control using this curve which is used to create both the surfaces, right? Again I'll use this particular curve. Here I will give a count. So here when I give a count something like 500, so we are going to get something around 500 faces, 854 faces. It is going to increase the poly count. Otherwise we can decrease the count to something like 100. Apply. We go to 254, so it couldn't go below 254, so we asked for 100. So this is the maximum it can give us. So then the sampling will give us something different, like sections, how many samples you want for a section, or along a curve how many spans you want. So I'll go with sample 6, or if I go with sample, first I'll go with sample 6, which is default. You can see the output which is getting created, which is around 482 faces. I'll go with sample 12. Here we have 962 faces. So when we increase the number of spans and sections, we are going to have more smooth curves over here. We can see the difference. I'll go to the top view. This is something like with 4 and this is something like with 12. So here we have a very smooth curve over here, and here we have faceted curve because we have less number of polygon, 482. Here we have 962. So if you want more smoothness, you can just come here and play around and get the result you want, right? So we understood what is bevel and bevel plus. So here we can import from third-party softwares as curve forms as well as 3D objects. So 3D models or 3D formats we will see later. We will see one method how we can import curves into Maya. The reason why we are getting into a third-party software is maybe it is more convenient in working with curves, or it's easy to create. So it would have been created for a different purpose. You can use it again for modeling in Maya. So we will see how we can import something from Illustrator. It is very easy. Illustrator also very basic software and it's very good for beginners. I'll open the software. I'll create a new file. I'll just go with 500 pixel to 500 pixel, anything, because it's going to be a NURBS curve, so it is not going to make much difference. You can scale them. SVG, whatever you create using a vector software, is a scalable vector graphics where you can scale it till the level you want. So for example, I am creating something from here which is easy for me to control. Bring it over here. I just come here, do something like, I'll go to Pathfinder, I just make them as a single object. Then if I want something more, I can create. Here it will be easy for me. Maybe you may have a different software which is comfortable for you. You can go with them. I'm not going to get into this software. If you want, I can take a different video about this software, but it will take some time. If you know Illustrator, it is easy to create curves, shapes over here and export to Maya. I'll select the curves, file, save as, normal save as. I'll go to, you can save it as SVG. SVG is something you have over here. Create SVG. We are not getting into SVG or type right now. We'll just stick to Adobe Illustrator. I'll go to AI format, sample shapes, save. For safer side, I used to save in Illustrator 8, but it doesn't mean you can't save in all those things. I'm used to saving in Illustrator 8 and it works always well. I'll go OK. I'm just saving as Illustrator file. I'll just come out of Illustrator. I'll delete all these files so you won't get confused. There is nothing over here. I'll go to create Adobe Illustrator object. Under the Adobe Illustrator object, we are going to get the same options as we got under the Bevel Plus, or we can just import them as curves. We have only two options. If you are going with Bevel options, we are going to get the options what we got under Bevel Plus. If you go with curves, they are going to get imported as simple curves. So we'll go with curves, apply, sample shapes, open, right, close. So when I come here, I got those two curves which I created over here. I can make them separate. I'll just come out of this mode, center pivot. Again for this, I can give a center pivot. I can bring it anywhere. I can do a rotation. Surface loft. So we have a different object over here. So when we import, they are going to be grouped together, so better take them out. We can just click it, keep on clicking, middle mouse and drag it out. Middle mouse, click your curve and drag it out. So it will be easy. If you want to make anything, you can make using them. You can animate, you can do whatever you want with the curves you imported. Surface planner. Now you have a shape out of the curve which you imported. So anything can be done using this. And you can get curves inside Maya. So for example, if I want to get a curve from an polygonal object, I can create a polygonal object, something like a NURBS or polygonal helix. I'll just create the helix. I'll go to the edge. I'll select a particular edge loop. We got an edge loop selected over here. I'll go to modify, convert polygon edge to curve. So under the polygon edge to curve, we have some options. Cubic, if you want it as linear, we can get it as linear. We know the meaning of linear and all these other options under the degree. Form, we want the best guess to be happen because we don't want periodic or open curve. Conform to smooth mesh preview. Apply. We get a curve out of the polygonal edge loop. So this is going to be a curve with control vertices. If you want to rebuild, we can rebuild. So this method also you can get curve out of polygonal meshes. That's all for today's session. In the coming session, we will see how we can create some basic objects using NURBS, curves, or tilde tools which we learned, and practice create objects what comes into your mind. If you have any doubts, please comment below. For those who didn't subscribe, please subscribe. If you like the video, please like. See you in the next session. Thank you.